So, this is the first inaugural episode of Boomzies.
Boomzies.
Boomzies. Now, do you want to explain to the audience how we came to the name Boomzies?
I would just say that it's just a word that I use. For
Yes.
various reasons.
For various reasons.
And at first he was kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't say that you were thrilled with it at first, or that it kind of grew on you.
Well, we joked. We were like, because this is a word he says all the time. Like, all the time he's like, Boomzies, Boomzies. He'll do something, like, oh, I just got this game for $5. Boomzies.
Well, I wouldn't say that I overuse it to where it's...
No. You use
There's
it.
purposes.
It's like seasoned salt. You don't do it too much, just enough. I go boomsies in my pants if I eat too much. That's... Yeah. You might want to talk to a physician about that.
I don't know if we want to correlate boomsies with shit just yet.
Just yet, no.
Wait till the end of the
pure.
episode and then judge.
Be Arthur Boomsies. I just have to be Arthur Boomsies. I don't think that shouldn't be a source of pride for you. I don't think you should take pride in it. But so anyway, we were trying to think of a name for this show, and one day he was like, was it me or you?
You.
I was like, hey.
You asked if it was acceptable.
Why don't we just use Boomsies? Because that was your phrase, and I didn't know if it was sacred. And he's like, sure. Let's use Boomsies.
Yeah.
So.
Why not?
We just said Boomsies, because it doesn't really mean anything. And, you're like, what are you doing? Oh, Boomsies. I'm watching Boomsies. And it's kind of ridiculous enough that it gets people interested.
It's fun.
And they want to watch it.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So, that's kind of where we came up with the idea of the name. And the idea for the show kind of came out of us
eating. Yeah.
Eating.
we were having lunch and just talking and kind of just arguing, I guess, kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
So we thought, hey, why not do this here? I've been wanting to be a part of Substance TV for a long time since, I've known you for, I don't know, maybe, how long?
I know 3 years?
3 years, I'd say.
3 years, maybe? Since you worked at GameStop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I met. This is one of the guys at GameStop that wasn't a douche. One of the few non-douche.
You have to lead in with that.
Yeah, I had to lead in with that. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. He was a non-douche GameStop worker. So, yeah, and we met one sunny afternoon under the fluorescent lights of GameStop, and the rest is history. So, we had this idea to do the show. We could argue and whine and complain and bitch online instead of just eating over food. So, we wanted to share our misery with everybody. So here we are, sharing our misery with the rest of you.
That or back up our arguments.
Yeah. See, the more people, if you back me up, I will do something for you. What will I do for them?
I don't want to know.
So, let's kind of start up, a little introduction, since none of you know Landon. He's new to this thing. He's a casting video virgin. This is your first time on video and casting.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah.
Double penetration.
No.
Wow.
No. We're going down a path I don't want to go.
Oh, double penetration usually goes down a path you don't. Oh God. Okay, I'm sorry. That was totally inappropriate.
This is a kid-friendly show, really.
We do. We have lots of 12-year-old Indian boys who watch us. Mm-hmm. So introduce us to yourself and what's your kind of gaming.
Well, I don't know. I would say that my forte, if you can call it that, would be, I like the JRPGs, grew up on the Final Fantasies, and I've got a real, I don't know, I love Final Fantasy VIII, and he gives me this awful crap for it because
this dude
I have this notion where, like, anytime I will see one, I will buy it, as long as it's within reasonable prices, which most of the time they are, probably $5, but I will buy one. I've got probably at least 15 copies.
It's like a pound. It's like you're saving these animals from extinction, and you're saving them from these horrible lives, and you're just... How many copies do you have right now of Final Fantasy VIII?
Probably around 15.
Around 15 copies. Wow.
I just really enjoyed that version. I like all the other Final Fantasies.
Yeah, they're good, but he has just a special...
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy VI, yeah. Excellent. 100%.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VI is good, which is Final Fantasy III for us, technically, but,
Well, was.
And then now everybody...
They've corrected the numbering system.
Yes. So anything else you want to let us know about you?
I don't know, graphic designer as well as him.
Yes, we're both graphic designers, actually.
Recent graduate.
Recent graduate. Recently unemployed, recently employed. Recently unemployed, recently employed. Kind of switched up a little bit.
Yeah.
So now I find myself with lots of spare time to chase my kids around. So, but yeah, there's Landon, and of course I don't know. People know me.
Yeah.
People know me online, don't they? When you're online, do people know me?
Yeah.
You talk to people like, hey, how's that Brian doing?
Yeah. There's that
That's
guy.
one hell of a guy.
He's got the face.
He's got the face and the goatee
The
thing.
stuff.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Well, if you don't know me, these guys know what they're talking about. Damn right we do. We know what we're talking about. So I'm kind of an arcade gamer, raised up in the arcades in the mid '90s.
I didn't get a lot of the arcades myself.
You did a lot of arcades?
Yeah. Didn't get into that.
You missed out.
I know.
Aladdin's Castle at Town
I
East,
know.
man. That was beautiful times, and now it's gone. But that was me, arcade games, and of course now getting into the newer consoles. So I'm an arcade guy at heart, and that's
Well, I think, and on top of it, both of us are kind of collectors at the same
yes,
time too.
yes.
You know, have pretty much every console released for the most part collectively.
He's got a Sega Saturn, so that's automatically some credibility that most people don't have.
Yeah, got two really.
You have two? Do you have the same model or the old model and the new model?
Same.
Same model.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's the old model and the new model, the circle button and the oval button.
Yeah.
Which I have no idea why I'm trying to prove my eliteness to you here.
It's okay.
That's
to
totally
them,
unnecessary.
to
To you, the audience
them.
who loves me. Oh, you got a TurboGrafx 16 there, Doug? See, TurboGrafx 16, PC Engine. I never had one when I was a kid, but I always saw them at Toys R Us, so.
Yeah. It's good enough, right?
Yeah, I think so. So, let's start this up. We're I don't know if you ever...
It's a good start.
That's a good start. I don't know if anybody watched the video, but Boomzies is pretty much an online conversation, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Between us, between you guys,
Right.
just talking about anything that's really going on, whether or not it's, the games that are being released, lifestyles. If, Fox News wants to run some terrible story, we will counteract it with probably closer to the truth.
Yeah, yeah. And we just bring you guys in the conversation so that, like Doug here, we will bring you into the conversation, even if it gets perverted, and you will be able to comment. And I think it's going to be a good way to get your guys' opinion to ring in, so that when I'm right and he's wrong, everybody can comment and be like,
Right.
that Brian guy, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and there's no better really of a time than now to really kind of start the show with E3, and I would assume that most of you have seen it, at least watched the conferences or followed it online or whatever. So we're going to kind of talk about a lot of that, you know, how we feel about it. For the most part, we kind of agree with a lot of the same things that we saw at E3, whether or not we liked it or disliked it. But
then some things we disagree on, but that's okay. That's what makes life interesting. So I guess let's get into a little bit with for you, what was your general impression of E3 this year, of what you thought?
it was okay. I don't think it was the greatest in the world. There wasn't as many new IPs as I would have hoped. A lot of it was a lot of stuff that we had seen before, but we get to see a lot more of it. Maybe we get prices and release dates and all that stuff. There were some new release titles that were pretty cool, but for the most part, especially, I don't know, Microsoft. I felt really let down with Microsoft as a whole, but, it was okay. It wasn't the worst, but it certainly wasn't the best, So I don't know. How do you feel about it, just in general? That's
by the way,
the vaguest answer I could possibly give you.
If I was talking about any video subject, it would be just a general. Nick from Arcade Hunters is here. Hi, Nick. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. This is another person you don't know. You'll get to know these people.
I don't know anybody. Really.
I know these people. They know me, but they're here. I feel special. They're supporting me. So Nick from Arcade Hunters is here, which you got to check his stuff out.
Okay.
ArcadeHunters.com.
Good plug.
Yeah, good plug. Hey, if you're here, I will whore you out. If you have something and you're here committed to me, circle jerk. We'll kind of work that way.
Jesus.
See, I keep bringing it down. Like, Landon brings it up. Oh, it's back. Oh, and I bring it down.
God.
That's kind of what I'm about. General impressions of E3, yeah, I kind of thought, especially even compared to last year, I wasn't blown away by anything. There wasn't anything.
Well, I was blown away by certain aspects.
Well, exactly. But as a whole, the entire thing. I mean, usually when I would watch E3, I would literally take time off to watch E3 because I'd want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the whole thing would be amazing. And this is kind of like there was little bits and pieces I was super excited about, but for the most part, Microsoft Connect, Sesame Street, and some other things, it was like,
right.
just like kind of the fly in your soup, and it didn't really make a great thing for me. So
No.
no,
No.
Oh, Doug. Well, Doug was you're looking forward to BioShock stuff, and yeah, interviews with Ken Levine.
There were some stuff. He's saying that there was nothing that we hadn't seen before. I don't think that they had shown that new IP by the Sly Cooper guys and everything.
Oh yeah,
that their new multi-platform title.
Right,
so now
right.
they're finally branching off from just the PlayStation 3 to the 360 as well. And it was that there was 4 characters. It was shooter. I wish I could remember the damn name of the title now.
I don't know. Does anybody know the name out there? Anybody? But you are talking about
Overstrike or
something like that, yeah. But you're talking about the kind of an interesting subject, Ken Levine's transformation from hating the move to now loving the move.
Yeah, at least interested in it,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the coolest thing, with Sony was that, last year we get Gabe Newell coming out and saying, okay, I, swallowing everything I had said before, I like the PS3, we're getting it out there, we're doing our thing now. And then, Ken Levine openly, saying his disgust to it. And then Sony calling him up and saying, hey, just try it out. Just do something with it, You don't have to make these gimmicky games that you don't like. Do something different. And, he's, going to pull out, his BioShock with it. And that could be cool.
Now, is it going to be optional? Or are we talking about
I'm sure
like
it'll be optional.
Yeah, man, kind of a thing.
I can't imagine that it wouldn't be.
Well, I'm kind of interested to see where they go with that. Anything you guys were interested in that you saw that what your thoughts on E3? Type them here in the chat if you've got any thoughts. Let me know. Arcade Hunter said I skipped through more than half of the Microsoft show. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Let's kind of talk about. I guess let's talk about the 3 main shows.
Yeah, we'll start with Microsoft.
What were your kind of thoughts on Microsoft?
Well,
what they're doing?
I don't know. It's like 95% Connect, and I would say 95% of that 95% was all shit. It was all crap that I didn't care about. I wasn't as interested in. It was, there was cool games that was involved. They showed Mass Effect 3 and using it with Connect, but I wasn't intrigued with that, how they were using it.
What are they doing with Connect on that?
Well, it's mainly voice commands. It's saying, when you get the dialogue coming up and you get your multiple choices, you can voice that decision and then they will continue from there. Which was like, why? I don't really want to talk into my TV, It's just strange, And then you could also command, like, your character say, go here. Yeah, that's really funny. I'd seen that before, too.
That GIF that Doug put out. Yeah, that is...
That was really good.
The fail.
So, but I was impressed with certain aspects of the Ghost Recon with Kinect. Had you seen any of that?
No,
The gun customization. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but you could pull up, your guns. There's, I don't know, they said like 200,000 or I don't know, a huge amount of customization options, and you can get it there and you can blow up your gun and it'll expand out and you can pick your different stuff and you can all do that voice command, with your hands too.
It's like Minority Report thing going on there?
Pretty much. And that was really cool.
Okay.
But then you get into that, that's just basically a menu way, which, Kinect is great for menus, but the gameplay of it, like to shoot, you gotta go like this. I'm gonna shoot you. I don't want to play like that. I would rather kill somebody with a controller.
And there's lag. There is lag in the Kinect. I mean, that's the one issue I've always had with it. I mean, it's cool, but even when I played the Kinect Adventures, which was supposed to be this amazing thing, there's lag with it. Yeah, Nick Arcade Hunter is saying, Kinect first-person shooters, Kinect first-person shooters, Tomb Raider reboot number 2, Halo. Yeah, and that's where I don't like. They announced Halo 4 and some other stuff, but nothing was. Besides the Kinect, nothing was really groundbreaking. Nothing was put out that we were really excited about that we wanted. It's like, oh, another Halo. And
well, I was excited too. Like, and it was kind of faked me out too. Like, they pulled Tim Schafer out. I'm like, cool, great, and then it's like, shit, Sesame Street. Like, and that's cool. I guess you got to have the kid titles because I mean, that's kind of how that is. But I don't know if E3 is really the place to demo and really devote a lot of time towards a Sesame Street title. Most of the people that are watching this are going to be your more core gamer.
The constituents who've been playing along and the investors. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't see many investors like, oh my god, Sesame Street? But 400 points of stock share. Go and buy that.
Speaking of shares, we'll bring up shares later on too, talking about some other stuff because that was kind of interesting.
Well, I kind of agree with you. I mean, I can't.
Well,
it just. Microsoft didn't, like you said, they didn't devote the time to what they should have.
Right.
And instead they tried, I think Microsoft's kind of more going towards the gimmicks, the Kinect and trying to get people excited about that. But.
Well, yeah, I mean, and Halo is still pulling them along. Like, Halo's cool, I loved Halo when it came out, the first one. Like, I was all on board, and I slowly kind of stepped away from it. But you're announcing the anniversary edition, doing a little fan service. People have been wanting that. I don't know how many years people have been asking for a Final Fantasy VII reboot. But you're not going to get that. But at least you got the Halo. For those people. But I don't know. And then when they announced Halo 4, like that was leaked before the conference, so that's your big reveal at the end of it. You wait till the very last, you show off your Halo 4. It was leaked before the show started, and it's a minute and like 15 seconds.
And it's not Bungie developed.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hate to be that guy because I could care less for Halo, but I imagine the Halo devotees. I mean, they buy it because it's. I mean, part of the reason they buy it because it's Bungie, but it may be like a Call of Duty thing where now it's just the name that holds Cloud, and developer really doesn't matter too much.
Yeah. Oh well, and speaking, you say Cloud. One of the things was that they talked about after the conference was that Microsoft will have save to the cloud. Which Sony's doing that a lot, but they didn't even say that in the entire conference. Like that's a cool aspect that people are kind of going into, whether or not it's super secure or not, who knows? But they didn't even say a word about it.
You should ask Sony about Super Secure. They'll tell you about Super Secure online.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Eddie Ruckus says that my thoughts. They should have had a separate Commerce Connect stuff. Hey, I'd be down with that. Just be like, hey kids, you want to go to Connect? All right, go down there. We got balloons and clowns and like the real game. Let's go up here to the real stuff. So, well, I guess we'll move on then to Nintendo.
Okay.
Or should we go to Sony? You pick. Sony, Nintendo.
Let's go with Sony. We can go in the order that they were. They were shown.
There you go.
There you go. There that way. So, if you want to start.
Well,
with
Sony, I personally. As far as the games and stuff, there were a few I was excited about, but of course my main thing is the PS Vita, which I'm really excited about because
I'm sold day one.
Yeah, I mean you got dual analog on the thing, and what you and I were talking about is they were saying like, well, we're gonna have to pare down all these features and really make it bare bones, and the bare bones model, the $250 one, it's amazing. I mean the two cameras, the dual analogs, the touchscreen, the touchpad, the LED, the OLED screen, which I imagine will make the battery life significantly higher. And then the idea of saving, the one thing I love, and you and I were talking about, I don't play my PSP on my TV as much because I have to get the cables and hook it up to my TV, and then it's smaller, it's not the highest resolution.
It's cumbersome, too.
It's cumbersome, right.
It's
So now being able to just say, I can go to a game, I can save it, upload it to the cloud, and then literally just the next second go on my PS3 and start playing it. And the fact they give you the PS3 version of the game, well, the PSP Vita version for the PS3 that you can play on both.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about giving me more connectivity options. Of course, I go on about the Vita, but as far as games, the only thing I'm really excited about, which we all know about, is Twisted Metal, because I'm a huge fan of Twisted Metal Black. The Preacher. Remember the Preacher? He throws the guy.
Some lagginess.
Stream laggy. Oh, wait. Let me tell you, we still laggy?
I know we're locked up on this one.
Well, we're paused on that one.
Okay.
This is where you're seeing that. Okay. Are we still laggy? Still laggy. Tell me. Tell me.
Maybe he's lagging.
Everyone's leaving us.
Maybe he's lagging.
Let's screw with them. Tell them they're lagging. They'll stop talking. Oh, you're laggy there too. Let's see here. Hold on. No? Doug? You're not laggy? Nick? Anybody else? Because we want to be the best we can for you here. And if we're not, then we're failures.
Yeah. I'll just go to bed.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody.
Yeah, that's Boomzies.
Yeah. Okay, let's just go on. I guess
Okay.
if it continues.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's step back. Let's not get away from the Vita just yet. If we're going to start about it, how does everybody feel about the name? I like it.
It's better than the Wii.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't mind it. I think it's fun. It's kind of catchy.
It's Italian.
Yeah.
Right.
Is.
And
yeah.
I love Italian.
Yeah.
Do they give you free gelato with it or something?
No, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Sorbetto.
Like a free, just a voucher. Like when they used to get the pizza coupons
right.
in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
Yeah.
Okay. Idea, you can take that, Sony.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool, and I mean, it makes sense to them just because they're getting away from the PSP name, because it's just not doing as well. They kind of fell apart with the PSP Go, which I like the Go.
There's a lot of cool features, but yeah, I think you're right. The name doesn't. It doesn't hold any inherent value for them to keep the name.
Yeah.
So I think they'd rather reinvent themselves, come out with a new console with a new name, and kind of say, hey, here's a new beginning, instead of depending on their old stuff. So
yeah. Well, yeah, and let's see. I wrote down some games that they talked about. They obviously the Uncharted, which looks great.
Yeah,
and it plays like Uncharted because you got the dual analog sticks, and they showed off Super Stardust. Ruin, which is the game that they demoed for that Save to the Cloud feature.
Yeah, that's the one where you're attacking another player's castle.
No, that's no.
Is that a different one?
No, that's the different one that we were confused about. Ruin is the Diablo-esque one.
Okay, right.
I was talking about.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's cool. Diablo is fun, and
Diablo.
And a Diablo experience would be great. So, and then they showed off Mod Nation Racers, Little Big Planet, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, with bringing in Cole from Infamous. So that's pretty cool, And then did you have any other
well, of course, Dragon's Crown. And I'll probably at the end of this completely hoard this out again, but Dragon's Crown, for me, not only was the reason I'm going to buy a PS Vita, but also probably the game of E3 for me.
See that the black guy that was completely out of breath. He was the one demoing Ruin. It was really funny.
What was the game where the sweaty black guy from Coolio's Gangster's Paradise kept breathing heavy and couldn't talk?
Yeah, that's Ruin.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, cool I haven't said the most racist thing. Thank you, Doug. I've no longer said the most racist thing on the cast. Yeah. I'm very happy now.
You're still the most sexually charged statements.
What can I say? It's who I am, bro. But yeah, the Dragon's Crown. Vanillaware. Guys who made Muramasa Blade, Odin Sphere, Princess Crown back in the day. And it's pull it up there. George, which is such an odd name to just have first name of Japanese name, but George, one of the artists and developers who worked at Capcom back in the day with Dungeons and Dragons, both of the beat 'em ups. This is his personal project. So essentially, take all of the Vanillaware games like Muramasa Blade, the art style and everything, mix that with a Dungeons and Dragons multiplayer beat 'em up that's on the PS3 and PS Vita. And the options for online play is where I'm really like, it should be, no. It's down there. It's down there. I believe in you. I believe you can find it. Maybe I have dragons or is under D. But yeah, I'm excited about the online aspect, being able to play online with it. I guess one question.
There it is.
Is everyone excited for the 250 model?
Yeah.
Or the $300 model?
I don't need the 300 because I've got the iPhone. I don't need the 3G. I don't need to constantly be looking up crap or playing online at any time. So $250, save $50. I'm all right. The only other thing that would make me want to go the extra $50 is hard drive space.
That's true.
What's the internal hard drive? That's going to be my factor.
So here's a little bit of Dragon's Crown here.
Traditional Vanillaware art style.
Yep.
Really beautiful. Look at those Amazon legs.
God. Yeah, every time I saw it, I'm like, that woman could crush me.
Yeah. Elf looks cool.
Yeah, Elf's cool. Yeah. The dwarf, the little short, squatty guy. But yeah, just the animation. That's why I love Vanillaware. Like their attention to detail with 2D, nobody can touch. And I think this will mark the first time that this game will be in high def. A Vanillaware game will be in high def. Because Muramasa, they would have just 480p. So we're just talking about progressive scan here.
Yeah.
So Dungeons and Dragons, Vanillaware. This is I think the game to watch out for, and I'm just hoping they get some good press for it.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
That looks so dang sweet. Yeah. So,
but yeah, here we go. We got somebody was mentioning about AT&T and how everybody booed.
Yeah. I saw half boo was like, yeah, boo, and everyone, the corporate stooges were like, yes, AT&T, we love you.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much. I'm on AT&T.
I'm on Sprint. But, every cell phone company sucks in their own way.
Right, yeah. But, at least with AT&T, you're going to have tons of free hotspots, to jump on.
Now, are the hotspots, even if you're not through AT&T, available? Or are they only available if you're with AT&T?
I think only available through AT&T.
I think most people are going to be at their house with their Wi-Fi.
That's the reason why I don't need the 3G.
I'm not going to be just randomly around doing stuff. So, but other than that, Sony press conference, was there any other kind of things you were...
Well, the PlayStation Suite. So if we're still staying, portable stuff,
I think personally that is Sony's smartest future move right now, because with the Apple's market, their share with the iPod, the iPad, and all of their products, video gaming is getting cheaper and it's getting much more accessible to everybody. You know, you got 99-cent downloads, and I think Sony realizes it. I think they say,
well, they've already started doing all their minis that you can download.
Exactly.
So why not? I mean, that shouldn't be that hard to port over to, probably not an iPhone, because they only mentioned Android. So I'll be out of the market. But, you know, that's really cool for everybody else.
See, and that's what I think. I think if they continue to do that and focus on some software, let's just say in 5 years, if Apple and Android completely take over the portable market, you know, destabilize Nintendo with the 3DS and maybe Sony with PS Vita, at least Sony will have a foot in to say, hey, we've got some software in the works, we've got some relationships with developers, so I think that's one of Sony's.
Well, and it's open because it's all Android stuff, you know, and then Microsoft tried to do stuff with their Windows phone, but it's only with them.
Exactly. See, that's why I think Sony.
So you gotta buy a shitty phone to
yeah,
do
exactly.
Stuff.
See, and that's where Sony I think is doing the right thing. They're saying we're compatible with a platform, not necessarily a specific type of phone. And yeah, Doug's saying I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 years there are no more handheld consoles anymore. Which I mean, I'm kind of sad to say it, but you know, we are in the time, and part of the reason I'm excited about PS Vita again, multifunction handheld devices.
Yeah.
You know, we're no longer in just portable gaming and
as long as you can get the size right, because you know, to me, like, I don't know. That's the reason why I don't want the PSP Vita with the 3G and stuff, because I'll have the phone, you know, and you know, I don't want to be combining those two and have some bulky thing in my pocket. And I certainly don't want to carry both in my pocket, really. But I don't know.
I mean, I just think, hey, Cookie Armor, how you doing? How's it going? I'm going. It's going. How's it going? It's good. How's it going?
This is all going.
It's all going?
Yeah, everything's going.
Wow. You are so deep. You are so deep on this thing here.
I'm very generic.
You are vanilla, sir. You are vanilla as Vanillaware is. Any other things, Sony? You were looking at anything interested?
Let me refer to my notes. I'm sorry, I'm not that.
He's referring to his Sony notes on his Apple product.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
So, well, I guess right at the beginning, you know, we forgot to mention the apology. You know, like to me, like I'll say it here. Like I really felt like Sony was the strongest out of all the other press conferences, and was really surprising because they're coming out of the worst month out of everybody. You know, they're going through an entire month where they were completely out, and then for Jack Tretton to come out and say this really great apology, you know, was full of you know, Sony marketing. You know, we're doing so great, all that stuff. You know, that's to be expected.
Right.
But you could tell that it wasn't on the prompter. He was
it wasn't
saying it.
This wasn't planned. It was like.
I'm sure it was planned.
But he didn't. This wasn't like teleprompted.
It wasn't a canned speech.
Right.
Yeah. So I felt that was, you know, really great. What was he saying?
Cookie Armor says, I thought Vita was cool, but I hope they don't do what they did with the PSP, where they make new models that have things like TV out and don't get it right the first time or don't release. Yeah, because we've got 4 models of the PSP right now.
Well, everybody's the same with that.
Nintendo's
you can't just
the
say
same with
that's.
that.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, Nintendo's gonna have 4 freaking.
Apple does the same thing with all their stuff. I mean, it's kind of getting money, but I guess maybe we hope Sony stays on the first model for just a little bit, so that the people who adopted it first 3 weeks later don't go, what the hell, another version?
I wouldn't hold my breath, but
yeah, Sony loves us.
Yeah. But then but at the same time, you can at least make your judgment of whether or not it's a big enough move. I felt like from the PSP 2000 to the 3000, it wasn't a big enough move that I was like, shit, I gotta go buy another one. I just stuck with the 2000. I quit there.
Yeah, I mean it works, and it does really essentially the same thing, just small differences. So,
I was really stoked with that apology. I thought it was really, really good. You know, really appropriate. Got everybody back on their side. You know, Uncharted 3 looks great. You know, all their games that they announced. You know, Uncharted 3, you got a new Sly Cooper coming out.
Yeah.
So if you're into Sly Cooper, that's really cool. Resistance 3 looked, you know, like Resistance. I'm not a big Resistance guy myself. You know. And then obviously showed a little bit more of the, you know, Shadow of the Colossus and Ico bundles. You're seeing all these, you know, HD bundles, and they're, you know, porting over the God of War collections from the PSP. You know, so you're getting those on the PS.
Metal Gear Solid 2, Zone of the Metal Gear Zone of the Enders collection, which personally I'm like HD Snake Eater.
Yeah,
dude, I'm day up for that one right there, man.
And then I was gonna kind of mention, you know, they showed a lot of move stuff. You know, obviously they gotta have to support it, but then to have Kobe Bryant come out and just playing a game right now. If you can't tell, this is me playing a game.
He's very interactive with it, you know. Basketball, but he spends all his day moving.
Yeah.
If he's going to be in a public announcement, he doesn't want to move any more than he has to. He's got to save his body for the basketball and the sexual affairs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of work to do both of that. That's not easy. That's not easy.
Yeah. Well, and then also, you know, the really cool thing with that was, you know, everybody's got to show off their third party stuff, the multi-platform console, you know, games. But with them, you know, like Battlefield, you're going to get the free download for the network title, and they're announcing that a lot of these games that are multi-platform, it's better to get on the PS3 because you get these free downloads with it.
See, that's what they need to do. They need to give me something that I won't get on the 360, a reason to buy it on it, or some kind of extra mode or something.
Yeah,
yes.
Kobe was awful. He was terrible. It was pretty bad. And then the 3D, you know, they touted 3D so much, and they're releasing that new 3D TV with the glasses, trying to make it more affordable. Kind of small, you know, but for $500, you know, for all that there, it's at least, you know, making it somewhat more acceptable to have a 3D TV.
Now, do you see that? I mean, personally, I don't see
like
it
the
going
3D.
anywhere.
I don't like 3D myself.
I see it as a fad, and it's like, hey, it's great, and then it's just going to go fade away like it did.
I don't go see 3D movies. Like, it's just not for me.
Didn't see Tron in 3D?
No.
I did. I'm a sucker. Because I love Tron.
I know, the 3D just, I don't know. It's cool, I guess, but I don't do it.
It's okay. Not for me. It's okay. It's not your thing. You're not into it, and I'm not here to judge you.
Plus, like, I don't want to, like, I've switched to glasses. I don't want to wear glasses over the glasses.
You don't wear glasses over the glasses? You're not one of those dudes that back in the 80s wearing the blue blockers over the glasses?
No. And to me, it's like, with the 3D stuff, it's like, okay, at some point in that movie, for some reason, I'm going to get a headache. It's you know, going to happen. I'm going to get a little bit of a headache, and then the only relief, you take the glasses off. You can't look at the screen because it's all blurry as hell.
Right.
You know, so for me, I'm paying extra money to stare at the floor because it's the only kind of relief that I can get from, you know, the headache. So I don't want to do that.
Doggy bag. Just bring a doggy bag.
No.
Take some of those pills that you take when you get on a flight or on a boat or something. So.
Yeah. Still $500. Yeah, it's still expensive.
$500 is $500. So yeah, all in all, Sony's the strongest so far.
Yeah.
That we've seen.
It's really great. They showed off a lot of games, a lot of content, a lot of new stuff. The price is right. Holiday, everything.
Yep. I'm down for it. So let us move on to Nintendo. Yeah. Probably the most hotly contested press conference. I've had
most confusing press conference in history.
Is there a console?
Yeah,
you didn't say anything.
Yeah, that's sad when you have to at the end of your thing. It's all new. What is it?
It's a thing you play with your hands.
Yeah,
it's log.
Yeah,
that's what it was. I mean, it was just like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, can you really be more descriptive? So I mean, what I guess give your thoughts about. Let's talk about the Wii U. Let's get that out of the way.
Start with Wii U. The name, number one, the name. I'm not as compelled to it as Vita. Vita, I was like, okay, sounds like Velveeta, sure, but like, I can at least get on board.
I can make Rotel with Velveeta. I love Rotel.
Yeah.
Give me a can of that, I'm good.
Yeah, so I can get behind Vita, but Wii U, just like, whatever, fine, whatever, I'll deal with it. So, okay, so they show off. Okay, yeah. So they show off. You know, it's all about the controller. That, you know, that's the main focus. They don't even mention a console. It's all this controller. So you got basically a tablet in your hand. And
right.
My understanding is there's no processing power inside the controller. It's all dealing with the processing on the console itself, and it'll just stream the video.
So it's like a Bluetooth kind of connection.
Probably. So you're just streaming video. So there's not a lot of processing, because everything I've read is that it's kind of a light controller. It's not as heavy, not as cumbersome as you'd expect. But it is probably the lightest thing in history.
It's I see, and that's what I'm confused about. Like when I stream my PSP, and I'm streaming video, you know, I do the whole remote play on my PS3, and I'm streaming video. It's laggy. It's lagging, and it's not high def. Yeah. So I click. So it's not a 1-to-1. So unless they're going through some kind of Bluetooth connection or proprietary connection, I mean, how are you getting HD video onto the tablet without it having processing power? Which is what I'm confused about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. It's huge, you know, and it's like, I don't know. And then the other thing, when you look at the button configuration, like I mentioned this to you, it's like it's reversed. You've got your analog sticks above all the rest of your controllers. So what, you know, completely opposite of this.
The standard we've had for, I mean, that's been around for 15 years.
Yeah.
The way everybody's been playing it, they're like, no, it's going to be up here now.
Yeah.
I mean, and the other thing, the Wii U sounds like a curse word you'd say to somebody when they cut you off driving. Like, hey, Wii U. Yeah. Hey, no, you go to hell in Wii U. I hate you. Why don't you die?
Yeah.
And
so,
Wii U.
Not necessarily a fan there. But then, okay, so you've got all these new experiences where you've got the screen and you're using it to kind of look through. I don't know. I'm not super compelled by it. There's cool aspects to it. Like I liked when they you know, you set the controller on the floor and you see your golf ball, and then you can use your Wiimote and you can play golf. But at the same time, I'm setting my brand new crap on the floor, and that's how I'm
Yeah.
going to play it. I'm not even going to use it. I'm just going to sit on the floor. and
I've
have
got
fun
2
and
kids.
Yeah.
There's no way I am setting a $200-some piece of equipment down. Yeah, because the other thing too, I thought, because that's what Nintendo did with the Wii.
Yeah.
Like when the Wii came out, they were like, "Here's if you've the perfect situation presented itself. Here's all these cool things you can do." Half of the stuff they showed at E3 when the Wii came out, no one's ever done anything with, because it's a pipe dream. It's like, oh, this is cool, but in reality, are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So what's the point of it? I want to see real games. If they're like, hey, here's Darksiders 2. Here's a really cool feature we're going to use with it. Oh, wow, that's awesome, man. I can't believe you can aim with that. I'd love to see that. But they're not. They're showing these fake Wii-ish me games.
Yeah. Well, and the experiences aren't that great. It's the same thing going back with Kinect. It's like, so sure, you're getting these experiences, and you're saying, like, what if the Wii U, like, how am I going to use this with Darksiders? Well, even with Kinect, it's like, okay, I'm using this with Mass Effect. Like, I'm not compelled by that usage. Like, it's just a kind of a half-assed reason to use it, to me. And I'm still not seeing a reason for me to really be super excited about the Wii U, and on top of it, you've got this new controller, but you're still using all of your old accessories, and I can respect that in a sense of the consumer. It's like, okay, I don't have to go out and buy everything new, but at the same time, this is your next generation of consoles.
Right.
I don't want to be using all the same old shit that I'm used to using. It's like, I want the new experience, Like, had the Wii U come out at the time of the Wii,
Yeah.
I would be all over this. This would be this would be so cool. I'd be super excited. But I'm using all old stuff. I've got the one controller, and then speaking of just the one controller, I was telling Brian that I was reading online. It's like, okay, so this might be the only controller you get with the system. They're not going to sell these on the market
sell separately.
Yeah, they're saying that it's not going to be sold separately. So for Nintendo to sit there and say, okay, here's this great new experience. We're going to tell you all about this experience. It's so great for the player. One person gets it. Everybody else is playing in the dark.
Round robin.
Everybody. It's like you got the one person with the controller, and everybody else is sitting around you with the old Wiimote. So you're playing the last generation.
That's lame.
players.
See,
Yeah.
that's lame. And yeah, Arcade Hunters. That sounds like the new Wii U. Sounds like a correspondence school. The Wii U TV VCR repair or get your degree. That's right, man. Nothing will ever beat a thumb hitting a physical button.
Well, and like my previous argument before, I had a whole different argument where I was kind of frustrated once I read that this is the only controller you're probably going to get.
Right.
My previous argument was like, okay, if I want to get multiple controllers, how much is that going to cost?
That is at least a $200 piece of hardware right there.
Well, originally I would say that it was, once I was assuming that it's doing processing, but if it's not doing any processing, that's a lot less shit
That's
that's
true.
involved.
There's no processing.
And so then at the end of the day, it's really just traditional controller plus a screen. So that at least lowers it down, but it'd still probably be $125.
But they really, and the other thing that really bothers me, they didn't even, like we were talking about, after the conference was over.
Yeah.
Catherine.
Yeah.
That's like this. That's like Qbert with porn. It's like Qbert for. Hey, whoa, children. Yeah, that's an odd game right there. But yeah, they were very. Somebody had to ask them after the conference, like, is there a system with this? Yeah, there's a system. It's like a rounded off Wii, and I kind of see the Wii U as a 32X. Yeah. It's taking the popularity of a current system and trying to extend it out without really working on brand new hardware, because you can use old hardware, old controllers. It's going to be running old Wii games as well. Yeah.
But the Wii games won't look better. They've admitted that they're not. It's not. There's no upscaling at all.
No upscaling or nothing. Yeah. See, and that's I think the difference between where Sony's at and where Nintendo is. Nintendo has literally turned into a toy company. I mean, what toy companies do is they put out a new piece of hardware, a new little gimmick, a gadget for you to buy. You're buying it because it's the gadget. You're not buying it because of the game experience. You're just saying, well, it's a cool gadget that I can do all this cool stuff with, and I'm more interested in, well, what are the games? I mean, what are you putting out for me to play on this thing?
But going to games, like, there's a big step forward for Nintendo. Now you can get the big, these big titles that PlayStation 3 and the 360 were able to get that they weren't able to go onto the Wii because it was such a different platform that they couldn't dual develop for it. It would be so much more expensive for a team to say, like, okay, we're going to make a game for all three consoles, because really it's a separate game for the Wii. You have to have a whole different team. So
right, why would
at least now you can get those same experiences, like they're saying.
But the thing is, if you already own a PS3 and a 360, I mean, there's really
Right.
no. I mean, I see the Wii U like the Dreamcast and the PS2. If the Dreamcast came out 5 years after the PS2 was out, it's like, hey, here's current gen, and now the Dreamcast comes out. Oh, we're just catching up, and now Nintendo's
Yeah.
like back when the Super Nintendo came out. Nintendo was ahead of the curve, man. And something I was talking to Eric, actually, some of you know, and I've talked about. We were kind of talking about that when the Super Nintendo came out, and it was all about Mode 7. You know, that was the deal. Mode 7 and the Super Effects chip. That was only an accent. That never did they totally focus all of their marketing on Mode 7. They're like, hey, here's a cool little thing you can do, but bam, here's Super Castlevania 4 and F-Zero and Super Mario World and all these awesome games. And now they're more focused on the gimmicks, which I'm just... to me, it's focusing on the wrong thing when they should be focused on the game.
Yeah.
So, they've got some cool games coming out. I mean, they've got the new Kirby,
Yeah.
which for the Wii, which I'm excited about because we're doing multiplayer Kirby finally, developed by HAL. You got any games you were looking forward to on the
Well,
Wii U?
I don't know. They kind of announced it without announcing anything, just saying like, "Oh, there'll be Smash Brothers."
Yeah, there's Smash Brothers.
And
Yeah,
that's it. Move on.
Like one of the and
Like, okay, I
that,
kind of expected that. I mean, it's
like
like
that would be cool. If they had a trailer. If they had
Yeah.
a trailer for that, I think the press conference would have done
Yeah.
a lot.
Even
better.
if it's just like CG or it's just, I mean, that was enough for the Halo 4
Exactly.
people. You know what I mean? But, you know, I don't know if this is a big issue for anybody else, but for me, it's like, okay, Nintendo still has not had a DVD player in a console. Like,
they're gonna have an HD DVD player.
Yeah.
They're still catching up. Like, whoa, guys, we've got Laserdisc. Actually, we're doing Betamax tapes will be playable in our Wii U
which
consoles.
is awful. But so it's like, okay, so this is their next generation console, and it's, you know, Sony and Microsoft aren't going to release theirs for, I would assume, a couple more years.
Right.
It's like by the time they release theirs, Nintendo, it just feels like Nintendo will still be just as far.
But
behind.
they're
And now they're putting themselves in a really awkward
Yeah.
position because they're in the middle of everything, and they're going to be in the middle of everything again.
And they're going to be already obsolete. And when the Dreamcast came out first, it was great for a few years because it was the newest thing. And then PS2 came out, and they're saying here, the only thing I really use my Wii for is the Virtual Console, says Technomancer. And I mean, I've been playing Donkey Kong Country Returns and Sin and Punishment, but yeah. Although the one thing I like about the Wii U, all your Virtual Console stuff will go over to the new Wii.
Yeah. But you lose all GameCube support too, though.
That's true. Which, you know,
Whatever. I guess.
I'll keep my Wii and my GameCube for that. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. But the problem is, Virtual Console is dead. I mean, it's out. There's like every week they'll come out with something for the Wii channel, you know, or the Nintendo originals. But as far as old video games, they're not really.
Yeah.
Like Capcom has specifically stated, they're kind of pulling out of the Wii support because, I don't know, it's just not working for them. So.
Yeah. Well, and then on top of it, it's like, okay, so when they release this, they've admitted they're going to continue Nintendo Wii support.
Right.
Who knows how long? Because everybody's kind of already saying that Skyward Sword is going to be the last big hurrah game for the Wii. But so if they continue that, they will have the Wii U, the Wii, the 3DS, and the DSi. 4 existing hardware.
The DS Lite's still out too, and the DSi XL. I mean, even though they're just different iterations, but still, I mean that's.
So I mean that's how many pieces of hardware out there. Like that's ridiculous. And on top of it, I said we were going to come back to shares and the market and stuff. After Nintendo announces all this stuff and they get done with their press conference, their shares plummet.
Yeah. And an Arcade Hunter.
That can be good.
You brought up a very good point. You do buy Nintendo systems for the first party stuff, but personally, I mean, look, I love Zelda, I love Mario Kart, I love Smash Bros, I love all that stuff. But it's kind of expected. I mean, new Nintendo system, new Zelda, Mario, blah 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 blah. But going back to Super Nintendo, I know I talked about it, but that was a third-party powerhouse with SquareSoft and Capcom and Konami, like all these third parties. Nintendo very much woed them to come over to the system, and now Nintendo's doing the exact opposite. They are raising the bar to enter their system by putting in some gimmick into their game. So Black Ops, it's going to be, or whatever, Modern Warfare 3, if they do put it out, the developer's going to go, oh, I've got to spend an extra year to recode this game for the Wii U. No, I'm good, no thanks. Just to get the user base they already have, and that's where it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it sounds like, Arcade Hunter sounds like Sega all over again with a ton of systems out all at the same time. Kind of like when we had the Sega CD, Genesis and 32X. It's like they couldn't make up their mind. They're like, oh, we want to put new stuff out to be ahead of the curve, but they should have just gone with the Saturn right off the bat instead of doing all that crap. So, but I mean, Nintendo with the 3DS, I guess we can kind of move on to a little bit of that. See, kind of go back to the Vita. I think the PS Vita couldn't come out at a more perfect time because the 3DS
certainly a better time than the 3DS came out.
3D came out in the middle of nowhere. Just here we go. We're just going to release it in the middle of
It's February, I think.
February, yeah, middle of the first of the year, and it's done terribly. It didn't sell like they thought it would. I mean, I bought a 3DS just to sell it on eBay.
How'd that work out?
I think I got exactly what I paid for it, like barely, because I thought, oh man, everyone's going to want one. It's going to be popular. But so I think now the 3DS isn't doing as well, and users are kind of caught off by that. They matched the $250 price mark, which is perfect. You've got the same price, so you're pretty much saying, look, same price.
But you're almost guaranteed, though, once they release it, Nintendo will probably drop $50 off their 3DS.
Yeah, that's true.
I still think that it's fine.
But yeah, come out holiday, come out strong with, they've got a good lineup of titles. I think stronger than 3DS did. And
by far.
I think you're going to pick up a lot of that portable market just by saying, look, we're coming out with a system that's got more stuff. It's more of a multi-function portable device rather than a portable gaming. Because that's what 3DS is. It's a portable gaming system, and Vita is a portable multifunctional device.
With a lot of social aspects.
With the online thing and chatting with people. I did. Yeah, hey, Double RPG, good to see you here. Yeah, this is hi, Double RPG, good friend of mine here, does his own show on YouTube, and thank you for joining us, sir. Appreciate it. I don't know. I thought it was going to be popular, but actually, you know what? Actually, I didn't end up selling it to the guy because I was going to sell it to him, and he ended up finding it in town for cheaper, so we just mended ways, and I returned it to GameStop, and they gave me a face like
why do you want to return this?
Why do you want to return this wonderful piece of gaming hardware? It's God's gift to man.
It's the future.
It's the future, and I'm like, but that's what I told them. They're telling me like all the great things the 3DS could do, and I'm like, yeah, but what about the games? What games are out for it? Well, and there's Street Fighter 4. Yeah, I've got that for home console. What else do I got? I guess you got a point there. Yeah, okay, I'm going to return it. So
that's the other thing. It's like they didn't have the games. They didn't have the marketplace at the time of launch.
Right.
It's like, okay, so now you have the marketplace, but...
A buddy of yours? Yeah, what were you saying? A buddy of yours had that?
4 months later, you could have the marketplace? I mean, that's pretty pathetic. I mean, honestly. It's really bad.
It's a bad tease. It really is. It's like dating a chick and being like, 4 months, we'll kiss. And you're like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's not how this relationship goes, baby. I can't... BioShock on Vita, yeah.
Super cool.
And see, that's where, again,
you can get all the hardcore console games.
Exactly, and we're bridging the gap. What I want to see, bridge the gap between the portable and the home. I know it's not going to be exactly like the PS3, but if you start bridging that gap where I can just seamlessly flow the games and I can have a similar game experience on a portable.
Well, yeah. Plus, I mean, you're looking at, let's compare the Vita, the PlayStation 3 and the Vita to the Wii U just by itself.
Right.
Like, so you got the same kind of experience where you can play your game on your TV and then just switch to your handheld, But the big difference is with the PSP Vita, I can leave the house. I can probably go downstairs. What's the range on the Wii U? Because they've said it's not a portable gaming device.
Right.
So you can't leave the house at least. What is do you have to be within viewing distance of the Wii U? How does that, when does that start lagging off? Because quite frankly, I would just much rather just do the PS3 and PS4.
See, and that's why I think they should have gone all the way with that controller. I personally think they should have forgotten about the 3DS. Forget about that. Move to this tablet device and focus on making it a hardware for the home console and a portable device. Because if they start making it more of a game experience where your console is more of a multifunction home and portable, see, I'm on board for that. Give me more bang for my buck, so you start selling more games. Double RPG.
That's a peak of hardware. That's really what Nintendo feels like. That this is the peak in hardware.
This is the peak in hardware. I mean, we are hitting a graphical fidelity, but it's something we were talking about
Not
too.
with them.
Not with them. Well, and you look at the thing, and the graphics look better. I'll give you that. But as far as their styling,
how much of that graphics is really the Wii U, though?
Well, right.
And how much of that was PS3 and 360 footage?
See, and that's where they come out with this, and the funniest part about it was when they had this whole PS3, Xbox 360 footage. They admitted it, right? They said that there were some titles that were PS3 and 360 games, but then they come out with this footage that's your Mii's. Now they're graphically upgraded, but the styling, I mean, like you said, from the hardware attaching to the Wii to the old style of the Wii graphics, I guess you could say, the artwork, it reeks of, this is a tiny upgrade to the Wii.
Yeah.
That's what it reeks of.
Well, and it's confusing, especially for the people that aren't like big into the video games and stuff. It would be a little confusing as just a general consumer to see the differences here and there. It's like, so I'm using all the same stuff. Why do I have to buy a new console?
Right.
But at the same time, it's seeing like, okay, I can buy this new console and I can still use all my same stuff. What is It's just confusing to people, and it's really sad because after the conference, everybody's asking like, well, is there a console? You're still, nobody really knew, and for them to have to actually go out there and say that, and then President Iwata or whatever, I think that's his name, President Iwata, you'd have to come out there afterwards and say, yeah, we could have done that differently.
See, and that's Reggie. Reggie's always like the dodger. Like, Reggie, I just want to know, what's your name? I really think names are great. They give you a great sense of ownership of who you are. No, please, shut the hell up. What is your name?
Yeah.
A straight answer, please. And he never gives it because he's the ultimate PR guy. Yeah. So
well, and they haven't even, like, I saw Adam Sessler would asked him, like, well, okay, so is this full HD? Like, what are the specs on this? He wouldn't say the specs. He's like, yeah, full HD. You got your HDMI. He's like, so 1080p, and he's like, yeah. It's like, that's not a convincing yeah. So I don't really know what this is gonna be.
Yeah. See, it's a big mystery, but I mean, what? So I think we both agree that Sony was the winner of the press conference this year, as far as the three big companies. What did you guys think was the winner of this year's conference? Just put Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sega, the new. I know they're gonna put out a new Sega Saturn or the Dreamcast 2. I think the Virtual Boy won actually. Myself.
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, my layout would have been Sony, Ubisoft. Their conference, their conference was good. It was really solid. It had a lot of the gimmicky titles, but it was really solid. And then I would say Nintendo, and then Microsoft falling behind. That'd be my order.
Yeah. And Ubisoft, I was surprised. I'm not a. Is it Ubisoft? Is it Ubisoft or Ubisoft?
I think it's properly Ubisoft.
Because are they Canadians? Are they French? What are they?
They're French, Swedish, something like that.
Ubisoft. Ooh.
Sweet accents.
Have a baguette. Yeah, everybody has got double RPGs, Nintendo.
Wow.
Well, you are
so I would
on the haystack.
So I would assume. I mean, was it the Vita that just didn't sway you, or what was the big punch for you that made that?
Yeah, what makes Nintendo the best conference? Because I would say had Microsoft had one really awesome game, it probably would have put them above Nintendo, I guess, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mr. Caffeine was terrible.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But then again, like, I don't know. Who was the comedian that they had last year? They had him for 2 years. He was on Community. I really like him as a comedian, but he wasn't that great of a host.
Yeah. At least they didn't show. What's the kid that did the PSP commercials? What's that little...
Marcus?
Marcus, yeah. At least Marcus wasn't a part of this conference.
He disappeared.
The first party game was on 3DS. The 3DS does have some good stuff coming out for it, but...
Not a lot, though, really.
I mean, I've seen some stuff, but again, it's kind of like, I think too little too late right now.
It was kind of lackluster.
I mean, you need to... I think they should have come right off the bat with some top-notch stuff.
I mean, they showed off, like, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Brothers 3D, and Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's like, that's all stuff you expect.
Yeah. Oh, and Battlefield 3. Now, that's a game I'm really excited about. That's what I think... Because I know everyone's talking about Call of Duty. We had Modern Warfare 3.
Joel McHale, yes, thank you.
Yeah. I guess let's just move on kind of quickly to games, because we've talked about them. Is there any games that were covered that you didn't know about or that you knew about that you were more excited about this year? And guys, same to you. Any games you were excited about this year?
Well, I think the one that I didn't know about that kind of surprised me was that I think I need to figure out what the title was. That first time that the company is going to PS3 and 360, they're breaking off. Overbrink or Overstrike.
Oh, right, yeah.
What the hell was that? I didn't figure that out.
I can't remember the exact name of that.
Yeah.
People need more value when buying a console, or else they lose faith in the quick, better launch lineup. And that's
true.
I mean, I've yet to see a really awesome, probably the best launch lineup I've seen in memory has been the Dreamcast. I mean, that had an awesome launch lineup of Soul Calibur, the NBA 2K, Sonic. I think that had a very solid one. Yeah, I mean, and of course, Dragon's Crown was one I was excited about.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
Other game-wise, I mean, Uncharted 3, I see that and I get more excited about it, of course. I mean, Sony's doing a great job of marketing it.
I was really stoked for Rayman Origins just because, I mean, it looks so pretty. It
looks so happy.
It looks so fun and happy, and it's
colorful.
Yeah, it's colorful.
So in a world of games where it's all grays and blues, we've got a colorful game.
We got it up here. We can start showing a few.
Yeah, there you go.
Some nice stuff. And this, I don't know, it just looked happy. If you want to turn the volume, I don't know if they can hear it, but maybe not. It's all 2D, which I'm fine with, but it just looked really fun. So it's got the co-op, so 2 players there.
So that's cool. It's so cute. Look at those boys running around.
Yeah. Music, top notch. Yeah, Rayman, that was good.
One game I will say that actually I was kind of halfway, I was very excited about, but now I don't know. Anarchy Reigns, which I'm really excited about because it's Platinum Games. It's my boys.
Do you have that on here?
I do. I think I've got Anarchy Reigns. Yeah,
I'll find it. You don't.
I'll buy these. Yeah, Anarchy Reigns. My problem is, I was seeing some of the gameplay, and I was thinking it was going to be an online beat 'em up. Like, you beat up a bunch of little dudes and then fight the boss. But it seems like it's going to be more of like a player versus player thing. And in my opinion, I'm trying to think, how do I play a game, a Platinum S third-person game, like a Bayonetta-ish game or a Vanquish-ish game that you're playing on the same level. Everybody's got the same kind of fast attacks. I mean, they've got to make some kind of cool counter system. I was just hoping it would be a very multiplayer, just beat up a bunch of guys, kind of like Dragon's Crown. It'll be cool. I just have to see it'll do it. I was excited about Devil's Own. What's that game? The Devil's Zone. Yeah, I think that's the name. Yeah, here's Anarchy Reigns a little bit. But it looks great. I mean, like, the attacks and, like, everything you can do. But you're fighting other characters who are just as awesome as you. So I don't know if there's, like, a counter button. Is it going to be, like, a third-person fighting game? I don't know. RPG, I hope it's okay to express my opinions because you both seem kind of out of character when I spoke my choice of who won. Oh, we just have our opinions. We're douchebags sometimes when it comes to opinions. So
I didn't mean to offend him.
No, we don't mean to offend you. All opinions are welcome here. We'll say this: all opinions are welcome here. But just know that, like a beautiful flower, they can be crushed and destroyed at any time.
No, it's cool if you think Nintendo. I do like a lot of things. Nintendo had a lot of strong stuff. They're the only ones that are introducing something wholly new. It was just a little confusing.
You hear that? DeGrade said Bayonetta's great. He loves Bayonetta.
I don't have a problem with Bayonetta. You just use Bayonetta in every damn statement.
Right. I'll put it in my tea. I Bayonetta in my water right now, actually. I'm drinking.
Did you mean Devil's Third? Is that the title?
Devil's Third. Thank you. Thank you, Devil. Yeah, Devil's Third
Zone.
by Itagaki. Yeah. When he left Tecmo, it's his first game. And it looks good. And then I'm also kind of...
Technomancer's out.
Technomancer. Hey, guy. Technomancer, thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate you checking this out. Letting us entertain you or bore you to sleep. So whatever it was, really, I don't care. Was that harsh?
Yeah, we're following up by pissing off one guy. And then we're just like, I don't care. No, have a good night.
Yes,
enjoy it. Sleep well.
Sleep well, young prince. We appreciate you being here. So, I mean, that's kind of my overall...
I was pretty excited for... I had to show you was the Blood Rain.
The Blood Rain, man. I mean, yeah, right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I never had the new Cooking Armor. Did you see the new DMC trailer? I did, and
don't worry.
I don't even want to. Here's Blood Rain here.
Super bloody,
2D, kind of Guilty Gear-esque, high-res animation. Yeah. So this looks great. I mean, I can get on board for this kind of stuff. And it's downloadable. Yeah, so I mean, I think they're being smart there. But yeah, DMC. Uh, I'm personally not excited about it because Ninja Theory, Heavenly Sword. I'm personally not super impressed. I think it's a decent game. I think Capcom was
through 2012.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not. And I know I'm going back to Bayonetta, but the crew at Platinum when they left Capcom, look, those are the guys who developed Devil May Cry. Those are the guys who originally made it what it was, and Devil May Cry 3 was kind of that peak. So you bring it over to a new developer, like it could be great. I don't know, but I set the bar as third-person action games as Bayonetta, and that's where it is. And if you don't match that, why should I waste my time playing it? If it's not as good as Bayonetta, then I'm paying $60 for a game that's not as enjoyable as a game I already own.
Yeah.
So I really don't care about it that much. So anything we were.
What was the highlights of games for them?
Yeah, well, guys, what games were you guys intrigued in or interested
wanted to
in?
see more of? I guess something you hope to see. I hope to see Last Guardian.
Yeah, there's no Last Guardian stuff. Yeah,
which makes sense. I mean, they're a pretty Japanese company, and they're probably going to want to wait for TGS.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, and I thought, and they were saying there's supposed to be some Last Guardian stuff this E3. They were hoping for it, and they didn't.
Yeah, well,
but
hope for it.
Yeah, we can do. Of course, Twisted Metal. I know a lot of people in the fighting community are excited about that HD remake of Tekken Tag with the online, and then that 3D CG movie. Asura's Wrath. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that actually. Have you seen that? It's like
probably have, but it's not ringing.
It's like Goku meets God of War. It's this Goku-esque character with this spiky, crazy hair who's fighting a god's finger. Like a god's finger is coming into the world, and he's grabbing it and Gokuing it back to space. I don't know, but yeah, third-person action game, which published by Capcom, and it kind of looks cool. I mean, I like the style. But again, I think we're, right now we got a lot of first-person shooters, third-person action games. And I'm just looking to see companies who can kind of break that mold, like with Dragon's Crown or, other games out there that aren't the normal average.
Yeah. We got a Blood Rain backer.
Yeah, hey, I'm down with the Blood Rain. Inafune, Mikami, etc. leaving is huge. Yeah. Yeah, with Inafune leaving, he was really the last bastion of old Capcom. And now Mega Man Legends 3 is going to be developed in-house by whoever's left Capcom, which they didn't show any footage. I mean, Capcom really didn't show a lot of footage of any of their main franchises as far as, besides Devil May Cry, stuff that they were developing in-house. So, I guess, was the stream choppy? Maybe it is a little bit. Most disappointing. I mean, what's the biggest disappointment? We kind of talked about the highlights. What is your most disappointing moment of E3? Kind of to close things out a little bit, I guess.
I don't know. I wouldn't say I was most disappointed, but I was just most confused. Not confused. I mean, I understood what it was. Disappointed. Yeah, the Wii U. I expected a whole lot more out of the next generation of consoles.
Right.
I expected a larger leap forward instead of a 2.0 version. So for me, that was the biggest. For me, the biggest highlight though was the price point on the Vita.
Yeah.
By and large. So I don't know. There wasn't anything that like super made me disappointed. Where I was like, shit. That's just what it was.
Get a little lag. Okay, maybe this will improve a little bit here. Hopefully, we'll get some improvement here. Yeah. So I mean, I'm with you on the Wii U. I just think the problem was like you said, they're all about PR. They don't come forth with what's the specs, what's the hardware, what are we going to see. It's all like, oh, it'll be great. Just trust us. Yeah. Just trust us. And I can't spend, and there's no price point on it yet.
That's to be expected at this point.
I mean,
Well, we saw the Vita a while back, and we're just now getting the price point on it.
And
so I wasn't expecting a price.
I see next E3 Nintendo being in big trouble, because next E3 the Wii U is going to be out by then or almost out by then. I mean, it'll be on the heels of getting released.
Yeah, some more. Yeah, I was about to say Versus. I really wanted to see some more Final Fantasy Versus 13. I was just about to say that. Like, that was one of my bigger disappointments. I really want to see that. Instead we got, a lot of this 13-2, which is okay. But yeah, so see some more Kingdom Hearts. I'm ready for the next Kingdom Hearts on console.
Gokuing. Yeah, and that's why I think next E3 there's going to be some console, some hardware release that's going to come out that is going to trump the Wii U. So that by the time the Wii U comes out, has just come out, or will be coming out, it'll be automatically beyond obsolete.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm scared of, and that's where, if Nintendo, because the 3DS isn't carrying them, if Nintendo doesn't come through with the Wii U, I see them being in a very similar position that Sega was with the Dreamcast. I see them mimicking, which is ironic, because...
So you potentially could see them just going software.
I could, if they continue down this road where they don't continue to hold a share of the market that's enough for them to stay into
Will
the
they go
market
back to playing cards?
We can only hope so. We can only hope they will go back to playing cards back from the day. So, well, unless you guys have anything else or comments, anything you guys were disappointed, our last leading thoughts on E3 this year that you guys had.
I can't say enough at that Final Fantasy Versus. I really want to see some more of that. Like, I think it and Last Guardian were the two titles I really wanted to see a lot of. Maybe White Knight Chronicles 2.
Yeah, because White Knight was an interesting idea.
I just want to see more RPGs.
Well, it just didn't deliver.
Yeah, more RPGs that aren't like our Western RPGs. I love the Mass Effects, and I absolutely fell in love with Mass Effect 2. I'm really excited for Mass Effect 3. But I want to see some more of the JRPGs.
Yeah,
which not necessarily turn-based, but
we haven't, and that's the thing. Like a White Knight, it's multiplayer, which that is what I'm excited about. A lot of stuff. The more multiplayer stuff, especially co-op stuff, I see, I'm excited about. Like versus games are great, but we need to work to. Oh God,
yeah,
we're showing Connect.
Yeah, I don't think that Cookie Army likes this.
Is that Connect guy? Is that Connect guy too cool for us? Yeah, he is. He is. Look at that guy. He looks like a backup singer for Devo or something.
Yeah, well, you got Kudo with his terrible glasses too.
Oh, jeez. Jeez.
Yeah. Every single time. Whatever.
Sad.
Whatever.
Yeah, Capcom, Capcom is becoming nothing like they used to be. I agree. I think they've that's one other, I guess, disappointment this year. Capcom and other companies like Konami have got a huge back catalog of franchises that they've dropped, and we don't see anything from. So I'm hoping to see them bring those back, because it's great to see all the new stuff, another Devil May Cry, but bring me another Strider, Capcom. Bring me another Strider, and I will be happy with you, Capcom. So,
well, I think as a whole too, there wasn't as many like traditional Japanese companies here.
That's
I think
true.
pretty much the only one that was Square Enix, and they only saved face basically because of the Tomb Raider and all these other franchises that they purchased basically. Right. So you don't see any of their true titles. And
well, there was From Software with Dark Souls, which we've agreed to save for another day.
That's a whole episode. That's a whole episode right there.
Lock that in a key and put that away. But From Software, and but that's all they had. They just had that. So, well, I think we've kind of pretty much covered everything that we wanted to. Thanks guys for tuning into this. We appreciate it. I know we've got what are we hitting at here? Let me just impress myself. Hey, 13 viewers, which is 12 more than I thought we would have had. So, yeah.
So 12
guys.
and your mom.
You know what? Don't judge my mom.
No,
she's very supportive.
She
of
was.
me.
Yeah, she's great.
She is very supportive of me.
Great comments.
She still coddles me, feeds me a bottle. I stopped breastfeeding like 2 weeks ago, so clothes me. Yeah. Little Desitin, Nothing wrong with that, dude.
Too much.
Look, I have rashes. All right.
Jesus.
I have rashes. There's nothing. It's a human condition we all have. We all have to deal with. So, you know what? When you have a rash, don't come to me.
I'll go to your mom.
Oh, my mother, bless her.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion for Wii, but got it for the 3DS.
Yeah, we'll
That's
see.
Okay.
But next, as these go on, which I think has everybody. I guess let's ask you all your personal opinion, your real opinion. Did you guys like this? Was this good? Was this worth your time? Did it suck?
Was it too long? Too short?
Too long? Yeah. That's where we're kind of. This is a work in progress we're doing here, and I mean, for the first show, just BS around. I think things
Well,
could be
we
better.
had a lot to talk about anyway.
Yeah,
just
God, we
based
had a
on
lot to talk
E3,
about.
but-
But yeah, every week we're going to kind of do this, but we're going to have all kinds of subjects to discuss, games, and we'll be kind of throwing it up there, what we're going to do. We do have, I'm still trying to figure out how to get phone calls in on this, because through Skype or my phone, but we'll get that figured out so you can bring in, we can get phone calls from people, and then also video chat from Skype.
Well, and I think another key thing is, because it's kind of difficult for you guys to, I'm sure, see this stuff clearly. And it'd be nice if there was a way for us to be able to kind of pull that video
guy's
up
a douche. Yes, agreed.
so that they can see it at a better resolution.
Right, yeah. And
Then like, hey, and TV.
And a TV. Nothing wrong with the TV. It's a nice TV. It's a Samsung.
Thank you.
It's
I like my
beautiful.
Samsung.
Well, so I guess this is it. We'll be posting this up on YouTube for you guys to watch or whatnot, and spread the word of if you enjoyed Boomzies. Spread the word to your friends and family. When you're at your potlucks, at church, what better to bring up after a good, rousing book of the Bible than Boomzies?
Yeah.
They start with the same letter. Boomzies Bible.
Yeah.
Boomzies Bible.
I think they both have an E in it too.
They both have an E, yep. And they're both created from God. You think that's too much?
We're going.
You think
yeah.
is that kind of sacrilegious?
We've been racist. We've been sexual.
Very sexual.
And now
Sacrilegious.
yes.
I just want to cover our bases. I want to offend as many people as possible at the end of the show. So we only get the hardcore, nasty people that stay with us.
the horrible people that add to it.
Well, anyway, anything else you have to say, or is that it?
Nope. I think
All
it was.
right.
I'm
I think
happy.
it was a rousing success.
Yeah.
This was terrific.